Jackie, tell us your story with your beautiful daughter.
Well, as you
She's so
see
pretty.
above me, that's my little peon.
Hmm.
I
Let me
mean,
show them a picture. I'm going to show them a picture of her.
but I was a single mom
I got
and
a
raising
bunch.
three little girls, and she was very special. You know,
Mm.
there's just something about her. She just has an infectious smile. And my husband, who passed away in 2020, um, he was her daddy since she was 5 years old and adopted her. And he passed away then. But those two were like two little peas in a pod. They were just very close. And then of course I've never denied her biological side. Just so to clarify, I am the biological mom. She's biracial. She's half Jamaican, half Caucasian, and but I never denied her the other side of her family if she wanted to know. And so that's kind of how she wound up in Florida. Um, the biological father, he also passed away. He passed away last year. I think it was around February or something. So she's lost both fathers. And so she went to Florida, but before he passed, it was kind of odd that she just suddenly showed up to Florida and not knowing anybody in Florida except, he had his sister and brother that
Mm.
lives there, but it wasn't like she was connected with them that much. I just thought it was odd. And he even thought it was odd that she went to go live with the aunt, and that would be her biological father's sister. And I knew very little about these people. I was, it was just one of those things that, I knew very little. And so it was just, the whole situation was odd. But, I've always respected my children's decisions. I never interfere. And sorry, hold on a minute. This is irritating me a little bit here. It's pulling on me.
It's okay.
Um, so I've always respected my children's privacy, but the main thing was because of the fact that I grew up from an abused home, no, support, things like that. I was made it a point to stay close to my children. And so she would always be in contact with me. She would never go without contact to me. I mean, it would be, checking in, but I never pried in any of my daughter's lives because they're grown adults and stuff. So I, you know, so around the time, because even when I talked to her, she was, um, seemed to be doing fine because May 31st of last year was my last contact, but it was through a text message. And I just said thank you because she had borrowed some money for some food and she paid me back and her friend back. And that was the last contact that we had with her. And I never much thought, none of, she grew up in Flagstaff, Arizona. So she has close ties here. She's lived here, till she graduated and all that. And let me backtrack a minute. She was born and raised in Flagstaff, and then she went to LA because she loves fashion and design. She's a model, does all this other stuff. And so she went to LA. Of course, mother's always going to worry about their children. But the main thing was she stayed in contact with me. I knew what was going on with her. And I know that she's had her ups and downs. I just think she was still exploring her other culture, her other side. And I don't know if she just got around some bad crowd or what could have happened. But the main thing was like, my daughter has anxiety and depression at times. But the thing was, she would call me and say, Mom, I need to talk to you. I'm having anxiety right now. I mean, I'm sound asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning and I get a phone call. I mean, this is the type of relationship I had with her. There would be always some kind of communication. Well, forward now to June of last year. Well, I didn't give it much thought because the month just went by so fast. Well, around June 28th, I get a strange phone call, and it's the uncle, but I didn't get a chance to answer it. I just noticed my phone. So I text her and ask her, why is the uncle calling me? Well, I didn't get a response. I didn't get a response from the uncle. So all the red flags were up. And I started getting a hold of her other two sisters. And I got a hold of them, and they said they haven't heard from her. So I'm thinking, okay, last contact May 31st. She was due to contact me because every month I have some kind of form of contact. Well, realizing the problem, and I did get a hold. Oh, she's been like a piece of work, but I did get a hold of the aunt, and I'm thinking, if she was missing this long, why in the hell did you not file a police report? And her excuse was she's trying to get a hold of me. And she realizes she has my number. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you waiting on me? You have the visual of her living with you, and you two have an argument. And I'm thinking, so she stepped out to cool up and didn't come back, but you didn't do anything? I mean, there have been nothing of anything that showed that she's made any effort to look for my daughter. And her stuff is, I mean, this is someone did not show up for work. She has most of her stuff. See, some of the little news clips got it wrong. Most of her stuff is still at the aunt's house. And I do know that she had, which I don't understand, that there is mail and stuff of hers, but the aunt refuses to open or touch any of her stuff because she doesn't want to invade her privacy. But I'm thinking, look where we're at right now. How could you say, that you're invading her privacy, when she's missing, because there could be some key information we are not getting. But the thing that I had on July 31st is when I filed a police report after talking to the sisters and everything. Well, the thing that got me was, so supposedly the aunt filed a police report, but why would you go to a parking lot to file a police report? I mean, for a missing person. Why wouldn't you just do it at the house? Well, when I had got a hold of the authorities, they were not very nice to me at all. I had to keep pushing and pushing and say, look, I know my daughter, but I had to label her with depression and anxiety, and that she was in danger to herself. That was the only way I could file a police report. Well, to make matters worse, I'm thinking, I live in Arizona. This happened in Florida, and I'm very sick. I can't travel. And I'm thinking to myself, they said they have to have a signature in order to file a police report. And I'm like, I live here. I know my daughter, And so they had, and she was pissed. They had to go to her house to get a signature. And quote, she doesn't like cops at her house. Well, the thing was, I'm getting a text message. When are they going to get here? I need to go to bed. And I'm thinking, why are you worried about yourself? We have a problem. It doesn't make sense. And I do know, which was another comment made to my daughter, who finally got a hold of the uncle and made a comment to her, oh, she's alive. What do you mean she's alive? Why are you making a statement like that? So this whole case has been like living hell. And the authorities haven't been cooperative with me at all. And from what I understand, I forget where I found this information, but I was told I could not get any information from the authorities because I did not file the police report. It was signed by the aunt has more authority over me. And I'm like, this is crazy. I am the mother. I know my daughter. How could you do this and say this? And then the doc, I didn't get connected with them until I think right at the, see, I get thousands of messages and I can't always keep up with it. It's hard, very hard for anyone because, see, my other two daughters, one lives in Nevada, one lives in Washington, and they've got children. So this is up to me to fight and fight. But I have thousands of messages still out there that I haven't been able to catch up. Well, this one caught my eye, and it was called the Doc Ellis Foundation because they've been trying to get a hold of me. But like I said, it takes me so long to try to siphon messages. Well, they've been awesome because I could not get my daughter in NamUs. I did everything like people ask me, did you put her in NamUs? I said, I'm trying, but it's not being accepted. It was pending for over 6 months when people told me to do this. Well, January 10th, I think that's January 10th of this year, she is now officially in NamUs without fighting, And not only that, this is going to tell you how bad the authorities on NamUs, they have her race wrong. She's Caucasian and Jamaica, not African American and I forget the other one, Mexican or something like that. And they got that wrong, And I'm like, wow. So I know that information has to come from the police. So also the police don't have a race straight. It's like, come on, really? And I don't know. It's just been a big battle. And, when you have no paper trail, no trail of her anywhere, it makes it extremely hard. And I'm doing the best I can by keeping her face out there. I mean, I don't have anything else to do except keep her face out until we get answers because something doesn't add up. Something's way off. And it just doesn't add up. I mean, granted, I am full aware this could be something she did. This could be something where she's been trafficked or she could be dead. I don't know. I just want answers. But I'll never turn my back, whatever happened, because she's my daughter. But I need answers just to know that, okay, is she okay? That's all I'm asking. Now, there was one vision, which the authorities will not tell me anything because they told me invasion of privacy. There was one vision of July 15th, and that's it. That's the only hope I've had is from July 15th. So I'm left, okay, if they had given us a location, we could have had people in Florida. I know there's people out there because everybody's been supporting me. We could have remember the movie Gone Missing? Did you watch that?
Is a movie or are you talking about the show?
The movie, the movie that came on.
Not
you missed it? Yeah, there was a movie that it was a missing black girl. It was on Lifetime, and it was like to the T of what I'm dealing with. And it's like the one part of the scene was like the mother going out putting flyers on cars and stuff. It made me think how many crucial things that we missed that we could have put flyers, whatever. We could have done all that,
Oh,
but
yeah,
we didn't get that chance.
Area. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. You said that they had they didn't tell you, they showed you the surveillance, but they wouldn't tell you where the surveillance was.
Right, exactly.
So you don't even know if what they're saying is accurate, and you don't even know if the date was even before or after she really went missing.
Right. I'm left clueless to, and it's hard when I deal with multiple sclerosis, so it's like, I'm limited. I mean, believe me, I would be on a plane a heartbeat. I would be getting out there, getting every damn flyer out there. I mean, but I can't travel, you know, because my illness is really bad and I'm getting worse, and I'm trying to cope because stress is the worst thing for MS, but it's just, it has taken a toll on me a little bit, you know. I mean, my health has gotten a little bit worse, and I'm, you know, I'm doing the best I can, you know, and it's just, I pray that nothing happens to me before I get answers because of how sick I am right now. And I'm just like, I'm humanly trying to do everything I can. And it's hard. I mean, I just want to know where my daughter is. I want to know she's safe. I mean, did she have a mental breakdown and she shut down everybody? Because she grew, like I said, she had friends that she grew up with since kindergarten. And they are puzzled by all this too, because she's always stayed at least contact with someone. And they're all confused to what happened, why, if this was her, why. We just don't have those answers, you know? I mean, who knows? She may be back in California and we don't know. We just don't. I mean, so much time has lapsed now. We honestly don't know what state she could be in.
Right.
You know,
Do you
so
foresee yourself ever having a? Do you foresee yourself at some point in the future that you may be able to have a better and more transparent conversation with this aunt?
no. My oldest daughter does not want me talking to her because of what it's doing to my health. She said some nasty things to me. I kept copy of it, and she just wasn't nice to me. And I'm a grieving mother in a way, and I've got a missing daughter. And it's just, I know that Doc Ellis, I think they wound up talking to her because they got a little, I can't share what the exact information, but they did get a hold of the aunt, and I was surprised about some of the things that came up. But they see, the Doc Ellis Foundation sees how the battle I have with the aunt, because her story changes all the time. And it just, you know.
Yeah.
It's just the lies and the frustration, you know. I mean, she went off and said, wait until she pops up and sees how horrible you treat me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm going, you know, you're worried about you, but I'm sitting here worried about my daughter. And I've been nothing but kind and trying to be polite about all this. I just want to find my daughter. Yeah. And, you know, and not getting news coverage either. I only had one station, but all I've had was snippets of her, you know. Yeah. And, speaking of news coverage, Doc Ellis Foundation had me set up in January to talk to a news station. But I guess they have to do their fact check. I don't know what it is with Florida. But the authorities don't have her labeled as suspicious missing. So because of that, I could not do my interview.
So what do they have her labeled as?
Just missing. You know, it's
so
just,
you can't do an interview on a missing person?
Yeah. You know, I know Doc Ellis Foundation's flabbergasted. They've never heard of authorities doing this to anyone. And this is what they're doing to me. And the other thing, you know, I be careful how I always say things, you know, because I know I'm being watched. I know that for sure. And if I'm not careful what I say and what I do. And that's where I'm thankful for the foundation, because I've learned the do's and don'ts of what to say, because at the beginning, of course, you know, I didn't know what to do. And, you know, like you were talking earlier ago, which exactly happened to me, is the psychics, the ones that, you know, the scams, it's just all over the place. And I remember you talking about that and said, yeah, I have to be really, really careful about all these scams that are out there. And because I was dealing with a lot. In fact, I even had one where it was a death threat. where they were going to cut her hand off if I didn't pay ransom. So those were kind of the things I've had to deal with at the beginning on my own. And it was crazy. You know, they were going to cut her fingers off if I don't start, you know, responding, you know. And so it was just insane that what I had to deal with right at the beginning. And I just like, God, people are sick, but
they are. They're evil.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, when this nightmare's over, I don't want anything to do with social media for a long time, because that was the other thing. I could tell when someone's genuinely concerned about my daughter and who is it now. I mean, anyone, it's like, I'm not a dating app, you know.
Wow.
I get some creeps out there. Oh, hi, beautiful. How are you? And I'm like, oh my God. Really?
Yeah, it's crazy how many people will they look to exploit other people like that. And I never knew that it was this bad until I started getting into true crime over the last year and a half. The things that I've heard that people say that about people that have reached out to them, like Zion Foster's mother, people saying she needed to pay $200 and she did it. Of course you would, right? Because you want your daughter. So it's like, dang, you got to be some type of evil to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's just like now TikTok was awesome. That blew up. Since I started doing TikTok, because I was like, I think the first month and a half, but you get so worn down for every day I was doing videos. Well, I'm doing one video a week now. Yeah. But TikTok, she blew up all over TikTok. I've got several thousand are following me, you know, and it's like that all the time. Yeah, but I just know that I'm going to close the account once this all, because I don't know any of these people, you know, and so I just kind of, I've never been a social media person until I've had to deal with this, because I've never done TikTok, I've never done Twitter, and I've had to teach myself gradually new things each time. And I'll tell you what, I'm like, ugh, over, you know. I mean, I'm dealing with 2 Facebook accounts. I'm dealing with my personal one, and then the other one is called Find Jackie Reyes. And then I'm doing also with the 2 Instagrams, one TikTok and one oh, I'm going blank here, Twitter. So I've got all these accounts that I'm trying. That's why, you know, I have thousands of messages. I've got 6 accounts going right now. So that's why I can't keep up with it. It's just living hell. It's just a parent's worst nightmare. And I'm just so tired of hearing privacy laws, and she's an adult. I understand that. I'm just trying to find out if she's okay. That's all. You know, I'm not asking for anything else. I want to know if she's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on. We've never had to experience this. Never have I ever experienced her going off, like not contacting anyone, you know. And, you know, and it scares me because, like I said, back to mental illness. It runs in my family, and it's rapid, you know. And she was the type would never do medication or anything. Because she sees that her mother goes, as I'm on lots of medication, and she worries about me, about how much I take, but I don't have a choice. I'm that sick. But that's why, you know, one of the reasons she's so against treating herself. And, you know, so those phone calls I would get at 2 a.m, I was like, had to do the deep breathing and stuff, you know. But if she would learn to just accept the fact that this is happening into her, take, you know, the proper medication, it's not a big deal. I'm so tired of people putting a stigma on mental illness. You know, you don't need to do that. We are still human beings. We are not some creep or something, you know. We are human beings.
Exactly.
Our brain doesn't quite work right, you know.
Right. I see your questions. You guys just hold on. I'm trying to let her finish her thought, and then I'll get to your questions.
Mental illness is there. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I was looking at.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sister Girl wants to know, she had two questions. She said, what did she tell the police? And I'm assuming she means the aunt. What did
I have no idea.
And then she also wants to know, is that like her not to call you your daughter?
Oh no, we've never. I mean, this is like I said, when she went to California, I heard from her every month just to check in. Even if it wasn't a talk, it was a text or whatever, she would check in. So this whole, see, that's what doesn't make sense. Is this a mental breakdown, or is this because you got to remember, she lost 2 fathers within 2 years. And then to pop up see, when this pandemic started, the first year, as far as I know, she still has this, but my middle daughter lived in New Mexico. So she lived in New Mexico, and the last I know is her she has a New Mexico driver's license at this point. That's all I know. But I do, she moved, and my daughter moved back to Nevada, but she went back to California from New Mexico to try to get back on her feet. And after that, I don't know what happened, because she never opened up. So, and now I look back, I said, I wish she had if she was in trouble, I wish she would have. My doors are always open for my children. I'll never shut my door on my children. You know, I've lived in the same place for over 25 years. My door is open. If you're in trouble, I mean, it's just, that's why it's so puzzling. I have an open door policy, and I don't understand any of this.
And how do you keep down your stress like you're supposed to under these circumstances? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't feel qualified to even, say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, I'm on they've had to increase my anxiety medicine, and I'm on antidepressants just so I could function, because if I wasn't on, I'd probably be crying the whole time I'm talking to you. And that's what's keeping me going, because everybody tells me, make sure you're taking care of yourself, because I have gotten a little bit worse with my MS, because I have the progressive MS, and has affected my health quite a bit. So I'm just, I'm trying, like, God help me, get me through that. If I didn't have my faith, I honestly don't know where I would be right now, but that's what's keeping me, is my faith, because she's seen how I've had to deal with some major health problems where I shouldn't even be alive right now, because she's seen, I've been previously, I come from abused home. I come from 3 previous marriages that abused me. All 3 of my children come from different fathers. And I remember you talking about that subject about how we don't know about love and stuff. I made sure my children had so much love for me. It was just because of what my situation was. But I would never let a man touch my children. I don't care if you were my husband. You touch my children, you better watch out. Mama Bear is going to come like hell at you,
Yeah.
And we didn't have a lot. I was doing newspaper. Nowadays, you can't do that to live off. But the way I took care of my kids, because I had no child support, I did a newspaper route. And every morning, early morning, I'd go out and do that, and then be a mom all day. I mean, I was full-on mom all the way up until she was junior high, but I was a full-time mom. I mean, I was there. I would go on field trips. I mean, that's the kind of relationship we had. And I'd be so involved with her in her schooling. And, because she was very bright and very smart, she just, and I think part 2 is, like I said, trying to get to know her other side, the culture and stuff. Because, being in this little town, there was, there's not a lot of Black people, I mean, it's just, when she went to school, you didn't see that many. So I don't blame her for wanting to know that side, I mean, I would be, I'm biracial. I want to know some other stuff about me, I would never deny her that. It's perfectly understandable, but my God, she goes to Florida and now she's missing. I mean, come on. I don't understand.
Yeah. And she seemed like a very, she seemed like a creative person, someone who likes to like do different things.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you never know what she's going to do from 1 minute to the next.
Yeah, she was on Grey's Anatomy for 30 minutes.
Anatomy. I was just about to say that. Yeah,
so, 30 seconds, I mean. She was on Grey's Anatomy. You know, she did modeling.
Do you remember her, like, that role to be on there and, like, her telling you about it?
Yeah, when she told me, when she came up missing, I had spent several hours going through it step by step so I could take a little snapshot of her being on that show. It took me a while to get the correct picture because, like I said, it was like a quick 5 second, it's because it was like on Grey's, it was where DeLuca was ranting and raving on a table or something, and I forget what that he went kind of crazy, and so the camera was going circling around all around the other people, and I finally found her, and I was like, there she is, and I'm like, and just those little things of reminding me what she does and stuff, and the thing that I know about her is no matter what, she has that particular smile of her that I know if that's her or not, just because of the way she smiles. I mean, I sacrificed a lot for her because I let her have, despite it being very poor, I still managed to somehow scrape and let her have braces and all that stuff. So I made sure, because modeling and she did in high school, she did fashion and design. She did a class. She loved it. She did it for 2 years. So what's kind of strange is when she went to California, this school is very hard to get into. She went to the fashion design school, but then later on, she never told us why. She dropped out. But the thing is, what really happened? Did she get around bad crowd? I don't know. Because I just thought something she loved and then drops out,
Yeah.
And so that was hard because I sacrificed a lot. In fact, I sacrificed too much. I actually had to file bankruptcy because I was sacrificing everything for her, and I don't know. It's just frustrating because you don't know what happened, what her mind thinking is, and it's frustrating. And, we're all just kind of clueless to this point what truly happened.
Yeah.
Because it's like, does she need some medical help? Is she fine? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because she did talk to me about last year because she knows I had filed bankruptcy. And I knew I already knew all this. She had some financial problems. And she asked me about how to do bankruptcy. Because I guess she was way over her head. I mean, she asked me. She worked at that restaurant, Carrabba's, and didn't show up. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Huh?
How long again was she at Carrabba's?
I think just a month. But even when she was there, I forget where I found this out. I know it's part of the investigation. But when whoever talked to him, they even said, and this is her. She's very quiet, keeps to herself. And I said, yep, that's her. And that's they didn't see any problems with her because she was, she kept to herself. She did her job, she did exactly what she was supposed to do. And, so I thought everything was fine. And she even told me that she was doing, and I don't know where. I still haven't been able to figure that out. But she was doing online classes. So here, Mama thinking, oh, she's starting to get her act together because I know it's been rough. for the last few years because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
But I thought she was finally getting things on track again. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. And it's frustrating because, well, there was that one news interview that I told you about, and we listened together. That was the only time. And even the aunt said, remember that comment where she would never go without contacting her mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, at least the aunt did one thing right, because that is so darn true. She would never go without contacting her mother, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like fighting authorities, like, really? I know my daughter. I mean, maybe she had a mental breakdown. Who knows? We just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's vulnerable. What person at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like her especially, walking the streets and not coming back? That's what I don't understand. And to have the gall to tell me she was in a safe neighborhood, bull. I looked it up. It is not a safe neighborhood for a girl to walk like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So she did not. So she didn't have a car, because you told me she took a rental.
No, she has no car. No car.
And I'm just reiterating. I know you told me that. I wanted to also reiterate it because I know that those listening haven't heard that part about the car and her job.
Yeah, that incident, like I told you, like I want everyone to know, do not judge by its cover. She made an honest mistake, drove a rental car to Florida. That's all. Everything was cleared up, even though I wish to God there were laws that if somebody was clear of charges, remove the damn
the whole thing.
photo.
They won't.
There's no reason, because people come back and were attacking me about that. I said, no, get your facts straight. Get their court records. Get your facts straight. My daughter is not a criminal. She's never been in jail before, except for that one particular time, only because of a misunderstanding. And if my daughter was a druggie, okay, you explain to me how she was arrested with no drugs in the car or on her. So don't label her as a druggie and she's a criminal. One-time incident and everybody wants to label her. You know, who else has done that? Drove a car and should have not drove a car? You know, come on. You know, that's what makes me so angry. There have got to be laws to protect the innocent.
Right.
And remove those damn photos.
Yeah, because she didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's out there still. And I looked it up a few times. And I'm going, what the hell? It should be freaking removed. She is not a criminal. Yeah. You know? I mean, she was removed. Oh, I get so upset about that. I really do. Because she's not the only one. There are other people out there that if you're innocent, the photos need to be removed immediately. Because people judge you according to a photo, and it should not be that.
I agree. You know? Yeah.
You know,
wrong, Kathy, it is wrong. And you know what is even more wrong about that? You have to pay to get it fixed. Why? You didn't do it. She would have to pay for an attorney. Go get it fixed and get everything removed and all that money. No one, and it's just like.
Well, that was the other thing. The cops that met with the aunt, she said it was the same cops that arrested her. And the funny part was, so they think she's already a criminal.
They've already judged her.
Yeah, they've already judged her.
Yeah.
You know, instead of knowing this person, in my opinion, they already judged her without knowing the facts. Yeah. You know, I mean, come on, really? You're going to judge something on that? You know, and I still don't understand the fact, and I know I'm not going to be the only one. I live out of state. This happened in Florida. I'm in the same place for 25 years, but yet I can't file a police report unless I fly my ass out over there to sign. Are you kidding me? So you're telling me that anyone that tries to call in a missing report on their own child when something doesn't seem right, and you can't because you have to sign. What do we do? You know, that's crazy.
That is ludicrous. I mean, what were your options? Was that your only option? Was to fly out there? So you couldn't
that was my
have it sent to you, notarized, and then sent back?
Yeah, and then it sat on their desk until, let's see, because it was the holiday. I filed on the 1st. They didn't even look at it until the 6th. So more the time kept going by, you know. I mean, we had a golden opportunity to find her and have physical contact that she's okay. She doesn't have, all we're asking, and you know, physical contact. Are you okay? You're just going through something, whatever. As long as we know she's okay, because I have read so much about girls like her are being trafficked.
Exactly.
So
you know what? Your daughter, she was 30, right?
Right.
She's 30. Stay Dangerous said, who signed Jelani stuff? Because he was only 24. That's a good question. Unless it's like by different state jurisdiction, which I don't really think so. I honestly think they just lied to you. But that's just my opinion. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, I haven't got one straight answer from them. Period. And I'm so angry with them that they are not giving me straight answers. And you know, it is like I'm a mother fighting for my daughter, and next month is her birthday, and she's going to be 31. But you told me Thanksgiving went by, my birthday. She did, you know, always, every year called me on my birthday. My birthday was December 5th. Nothing. Christmas went by. New Year's went by. How are you telling me nothing's wrong? That's what I don't get. And then next month, her birthday, I'm not looking forward to that. You know, it's going to be April 10th is her birthday, and she'll be 31. I'm like, all these holidays and everything. I mean, this is the first time this has ever happened, because it don't matter what, we always, you know, because all 3 of my girls will call and say happy birthday to me every year, you know. So, yeah, it's just, you know, doesn't add up. And Jacqueline, you know, if you're out there, please go to the police. Whatever happened, we need to know. It's mind-boggling, you know, because it doesn't add up. I'm just holding it together.
I just want to reiterate to everybody who is watching this, who may watch it.
It blows my mind because
remind people that she's not in the same state. So that's why this is so frustrating. She does not live in Florida. Where do you live, Jackie?
I live in Flagstaff, Arizona.
In Arizona. So she's far, far away. There's nothing, I mean, that's a hopeless feeling.
Far.
Like, do more, but she's not there. She can't get there. She cannot fly. So she really does need the support. She really does need the help. She really needs people who are there, who, you know, if you know of any organizations who can partner up with the one organization, what's the name of them again?
The Doc Ellis Foundation.
Doc Ellis, yes.
Yeah, and if anyone has any kind of information, let the Doc Ellis Foundation know, because obviously the authorities I'm struggling with, the Doc Ellis Foundation, it will help them tremendously, because they're doing everything they can, but it's hard to find somebody when there's no trace. And they're doing everything. They even have an investigator now, and so the investigator's doing everything they can, you know. So I know, because there are a few things I can't share, but I do know they're out there doing everything they can, but it's hard to find somebody when there's no trace. And so that, you know, for someone not to have no bank account, no nothing, you know, I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
And the social media's gone. That was the other thing I noticed too. Her social media, her Facebook, it's like it was totally wiped out. I mean, she had like 800 friends. I don't know more. Anyway, she had everything on there. You know, that's, you know, And the one clip that we were talking about earlier about July 15th, it was like she was incognito, you know? That's the way she was dressed. Because she's the type very particular about her looks. I mean, she won't go anywhere unless she's looking okay, you know? She was very...
Yeah, seeing that video.
Yeah, she'd always be taking care of herself, making sure she looks good when she goes out. I mean, this is the girl that, she takes an hour just to try to get herself to look right, you know? So it kind of, hold on, I got to turn this on. There we go. That was my alarm reminding me, take your blood pressure. I have alarms for medication and everything because I have the MS has affected my blood pressure. So sometimes it runs too low. And so as we're talking, I got to do blood pressure. But yeah, this is a girl that would never go without talking, and so it doesn't make sense, I don't know. Every time I look at the July 15th, I see somebody look like and the phone. People have asked me, the people have asked me about there we go. People have asked me about her phone situation, and her phone situation, and I found out through one of her friends, because the police won't do crap, but I found out the phone, and the phone that she had, see, that was the other thing. When she went to Florida, she had no phone. So the phone she had was her aunt's, and it was like a government phone. Well, as more and more detail came out about this government phone, and one of her friends did a ping. So apparently the phone is still by the aunt's house, So that makes it even more suspicious that the aunt said she left with a laptop and, okay. And then when the cops report on that video saying she has the will to call people and stuff like that. But the thing is, what phone is she using? Because it's not the aunt's, and I know that for a fact, so I don't know how she has a phone now. I just don't know, I don't understand, because that's the way the police report said. She has the ability to call, and she's choosing not to contact anyone. But how do we know? How do we know that she's not coerced to looking like she's okay? We just don't know that until physical contact is made. I mean, I've read how I have to keep reading things, but when I read things, it upsets me, because when I read these things, it's like, hello, what kind of cops are you? Do you understand what traffic is and stuff, Because I read more and more comments about how they control their victims, And so I do, I have been doing a lot of searching on human trafficking, and it's an eye opener. It really is, and on how they control their victims and everything.
Yeah.
It's just. Sometimes on mine, I have to just get away from everything and say, okay, time out. I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, I've had enough, because it's like every time I read it's then I find something bad, and I'm like, okay, I've had enough reading, but, because she was vulnerable. She was a person that had money troubles and things like that. Yeah, she fit the profile.
What part of Florida, Jackie?
Boyerton. But that was the thing in the police report. They extended out to the Miami-Dade area, but still won't tell us anything. That was it. That's the last thing we've known. So they've made this case not easy at all. And everything that comes back to me from them was private.
They said, has any of her, they said, No, her social media was wiped off,
Yeah, she just only has a couple
which is
friends on there, and
strange
that's
because
it.
you said she had a lot of followers.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
weird.
That's all her pictures. Everything of her are
I
gone.
mean, so thing is weird.
When did y'all realize that it was deleted though? Was it shortly at, like, was it immediately after?
After she missing, I don't know when it was deleted, but it was after she was missing. Because
Could it have been deleted before she went missing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
mean,
don't know.
that's important too, because like if it could have possibly been prior to her going missing, then it might not, you know what I mean? May or may
Right.
not be something.
Yeah, I just don't know. Because when I came across it, it was like several weeks after or whatever that I found it, because I have been, like I said, I've been fighting tooth and nail, and I've been slowly trying to find information, and then I found that information that her social media is wiped out because I wanted to get some pictures, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing. I think she has like 18 friends on there, and that's it. And I'm like, and no pictures. And she had tons of pictures on there, so they're all gone.
Wow.
So
Oh, I have a question. Does I think it was Wendy that told me about them investigating on the sites and stuff. Does the Doc Ellis Foundation go on those social media sites, or not social media sites, but those like back page sites to see if there's any activity that matches?
they've been doing all that, and
Okay.
it's just that we can't find anything.
Okay.
I mean, it's been extremely tedious, because we can't find anything, and that's the frustrating part, and just so many unanswered questions, and we don't have the answers.
Yeah.
And we're all becoming numb over this because we don't know how to feel, what to do. We're just kind of numb. And I did leave out something else too. Besides her half sisters, from the biological father, she has two brothers. One lives in California, and the other one lives in Nevada. I think the one in California, she's only had contact with a couple times, but she was more in contact with the one in Nevada. And then he also made a statement saying he didn't understand what was going on either, because he even said that if she was having a problem or something, she generally would call him sometimes. So they had a little bit of a better relationship. So I do remember that comment.
Okay.
So, yeah, she has two brothers and two sisters, and it's just, she has the connection of, we're here to support her, So, I mean, because what's weird is I remember her asking me about bankruptcy, and I knew what she was going to do, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because I knew there was financial problems, and so it wasn't like an eye opener on me on that one, because she asked for my help. So it's just, I don't know. Because it is a lot of stress for a young person, and you got to remember, we're talking about suicide rates and everything, how high. I mean, it was just, I was surprised. Fortunately, I'm not there, but I was surprised, like, with people like me that are chronically ill, and so we're isolated, and there's a high rate of people that committed suicide with MS because we couldn't go anywhere. And so the depression kicks in, and everything. Well, it's not just us either. It's the young people that have been so isolated and everything. Instead of working through the problem, they kill themselves. I mean, it's just it's mind-boggling how many suicides, because I think, if I understand, the suicide rates went up during the pandemic,
Right.
And it's a shame, because there's a way to communicate through the internet, that even though you don't, granted, I wish I had the physical contact, but but there's nothing I can do except just accept the situation and keep working at it. Because, yeah, I miss the human. I wish my husband was here to hold me right now and just comfort me. And it just eats me, because I don't have any physical contact. That part is hard. But I try to cope the best I can. That's the hardest part because of not having my husband, and it's just not having that physical contact of being at least be held, let me cry, whatever I need to do at that time. And that's the part that's hard. But it's not for me to do something stupid either. It's just that I learned how, because of my faith of God having my back and giving me that strength to not give up. And that's what I'm doing, is to not give up. Granted, there are days I wish I'd not wake up because, my oxygen level gets so bad at times I'm waking up in the middle of the night with a severe asthma attack, but I hang on. I mean, that's, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I mean, I've been through the gamut. And I'm just, I fought a deadly bacteria infection. I've been through it all. And that's where, and my strength, all that going through that was my faith. Because my husband I'm living the same nightmare that I did with my husband almost. My husband, 2019, I knew he was going to die. I already knew that. But the problem is living in limbo. Yeah. And waiting. Okay, is this the day I'm going to get the phone call? Because my health had deteriorated because I didn't have a car. So my transportation was either bus or tag because he was 2 hours away from me. And I knew that time was going to come. But when? Because he had no motivation to keep going. It was hard. And so it was just a matter of waiting. But for a whole year, waiting and waiting. Yeah. And then finally he passed. And here now, I'm in the same situation. Waiting. I mean, 9 months. Waiting. Is she alive? Is she dead? Does she have a mental breakdown? What happened to her? And it's like 9 months of hell again. And 9 months of waiting and to get closure. I mean, it's like needing that closure. That's all I need is closure. I want answers, to closure, because I just having to go through this again and wanting closure, and my faith, thank God I have that, because honestly, I would have had a breakdown by now, going through this again. And I'm just like, holy crap, really? It's mind boggling.
I got some messages that I want to read to you because I know that people do have questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
People have said some things to you. But before I do that, I do want to say that I want you to hang in there. Okay. I want you to wake up today and remember your why. And I want you to remember that our God, the God that we serve, is a very powerful God. And he can do all things.
Yep.
I know. Miracles. And I know that you know that.
I shouldn't even be alive.
I just wanted to say it. And I also want to say this because I can't do this and not put it out there. But just for anyone else who's listening, if you do need someone to talk to and you're having thoughts, the number that you call is 988 and it's a crisis hotline. And just dialing 988. It's a 24/7 hotline. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There's someone there to assist you. Like if you just wake up and you're just not feeling yourself, because trust me, I've been there. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there, and I'll definitely put it in the chat, or if someone else wants to put it in the chat, 988. That's the number. So
it's very, very important to reach out when you have, because suicide is not the answer. The answer is to reach out, and I know that, and that's what keeps
community here.
Reach out.
We actually care. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's some cruel people in this world.
You can Jackie.
From the bottom of my soul that I really do care. I do.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time because, like, it's hard for me to trust, and because, like I said, I've been so severely abused, and not from my father and a teacher when I was in high school, and then I had 3 previous marriages. See, I knew nothing of men basically except to control me, and 2 of my husbands strangled me. So, like I said, God has plans for me that I'm still here, to survive all this.
He absolutely does.
Yeah,
all right, we'll go to the questions in the chat. Let's see.
Jackie taught me some stuff the last time we was on the phone. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie?
Yeah.
You taught me some stuff the last time. She gave me some motherly advice. I took it too.
Okay. That's good. I chewed her out.
Motherly advice. Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Jasmine, you can go through the chat
though.
and read the questions.
I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Yep, I gave her some good mothering advice.
With pain comes strength. Yeah, she sure did. I need it. You know it, but sometimes you need somebody else to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I was this TV company.
Her daughter's name is Jacqueline Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. I got to put that log thing in.
And I want to let you know something. I'm surprised that my pain is under control, but I had 2 teeth pulled the other day.
What'd you say?
I had 2 teeth pulled the other day. So I'm still sore in my mouth. They had to pull 2 of my teeth.
That's right. You said you was going to the dentist.
Yep.
That's right. You said you was going to the dentist.
And I couldn't get any pain med because I'm allergic to too many other things.
You doing good.
Sister girl, for putting that in the chat. I appreciate that.
Let me see something here. I want to go back up. a little bit because I saw a few things here that sister girl, a couple of people were asking. Okay, this. Have you, sister girl says, have you spoken to any of the half sisters, any of the half siblings?
Oh, the brothers. No, I don't. I'm not have any connection with them. I'm like, it's just me and my daughters.
Okay. Was she in a new relationship or anything? Grizzy said.
I'm clueless as to whether she had anybody in her life because she never shared it. So, like I said, she was
kind of
private, very quiet, but still stayed in contact. I just never invade anything on her. I gave her space because she is an adult.
Right.
But how many of us mothers have relationships like I do with my daughter, and then all of a sudden this happens? Yeah, that's red flags to, what really happened? We're just trying to make sure, because I perfectly understand about abuse and all that stuff. People that have to be protected or whatever, I totally get that, because there are some that are in hiding because of abuse, which I understand, but my situation is not because I've done anything, unless somebody else has done. I understand it.
Sister girl wanted to know, I think that she was confused about the sibling. She was asking about the sibling that she was close to, that Jacqueline was close to, but she was close to them, but you were not. You don't have a relationship
In
with them.
California.
No,
the father's side of the family. Is
correct.
that yeah? I hope that answers. I think that's what you meant, right, sister girl? And Grizz, welcome to the.
I didn't know much of her black side of the family. I really didn't know those people.
Okay.
Like I said, my husband who passed was her daddy. He's daddy, and then her biological dad. That's the way I separate the two. Daddy is who passed away and who raised her since she was 5 years old.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah,
And that's why she's got my last name, Reyes, because he legally adopted her.
Okay. She said, I'm talking about the sibling in California. You said she was close with.
The one in Nevada is the one that she would occasionally. I only talked to him, I think, one time, and that was it, and nothing else. But he did state that she would. It was weird about this whole situation because sometimes she would call and talk to him, when she had problems. And it was like exactly what she would do with me. Call me that I'm having such and such, And so it was like, so obviously she reaches out when something's not right, or she needs help.
Yeah.
So
no, she hasn't talked. You haven't talked to them to find out anything. That's what she.
No, the last contact with anybody on that side of the family was right at the in July, and that's it.
Okay. And they communicated from different states. They didn't live, so they were not in Florida. So they talked over the phone. So when she's saying they're close, I think it was a phone relationship. So as far as like knowing where they hung out, it was different.
I think so. I think it was they talked on the phone. I don't think it was text. To the brother in Nevada.
Okay.
Or maybe some friends or anything.
Because I know she visited the brother in Nevada. That's what I mean. All her pictures, I wish I have some, but all her pictures are gone. She had pictures of her visiting Nevada and being with her brother, but it's all gone.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy because they just don't go poof. You know what I mean? They go poof missing like this. This is crazy. And then you can't get no help from authorities or anything.
Nope.
That pisses me off, man. Can't get no help with the police, authorities don't. Yeah. It's like, who do you go to? Thank God for organizations.
Yeah, because the last contact I had with authority was I think
up.
right at the end of July or beginning of August. Just saying that, show me that little clip, and that was it. Nothing else. They won't share anything with me.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's a shame.
Well, let's see.
Shame.
Hey, any of you guys, if y'all want to, y'all can come up if it's easier.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna stretch. Ooh.
And you know what's so sad about some of these missing groups? Some of them are not monitoring their groups very well at all. I mean, oh my God.
What makes you say that? What's happening?
Oh, they'll put in celebrities die, blah, blah. I'm like, are you not watching your group? Delete that. It's spam.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's in over 150 groups, but I know at least 10 of them are not watching it because they got so much spam in there. It's crazy. It's like, if you're going to do a missing person group, do justice and do it right, you know? Don't let people go in there. I mean, because it's like, oh, at the beginning, it was really bad. Pornography, you name it. I'm just like, oh my God, are you not? See, I don't understand. Facebook really pisses me off because I'm sitting there posting my daughter, but if I do too much at one time, they'll lock me out. But when you got people that are putting very gross stuff on there, and yet you're not doing anything to them, I'm a mother with a missing. Don't block me. I'm sitting there trying to get the word out, and I'm not spamming. Pay attention to those ones that are doing all this other crap, you know? That's just kills. That's the only problem I have with Facebook that makes me mad. And I mean, in 1 month, they blocked me out twice. I had security risk or something. And I'm like, so I had to go through all the hoops to get back in, you know? It's like, come on.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with Facebook lately. I've gotten a lot of corn. I'm like, how does Facebook never used to be like this? But
I know it's bad. It's really bad right now.
I don't use mine like that though. So
yeah, it's just crazy. You know, just kind of like, that's what I mean. When this nightmare's over, I'm done with the social media. There's just too much crap out there, and just, man, the things I'm seeing right now, I'm like, oh my God. You know, I grew up in the day when we didn't have any of this. We grew up and played outside and things like that. You know, I mean, typical childhood, you know. This stuff now, it's just pathetic. Really pathetic. You know, because Jasmine even said it. There's all different kinds of trafficking. Slavery and stuff. We were talking about this the other day, and it's sickening because I've been watching documentaries because of what our country has done, and yet we're supposed to be the country of free. Well, it's not happening. We're reverting back to slavery, you know, and people are not opening their eyes to this. We are going backwards. We're back into where it's just not sex trafficking and all that. There's Jasmine mentioned a bunch, you know, there's slavery just like they did back then, you know. So it's like, and the percentage of Black girls that are missing, that should be a red flag. That's another thing, you know. How many Black girls are missing? Why does a white chick, and it's a disgrace to my race, I hate it. I'm not racist at all, but man, when I see something about a white person and the Black people aren't getting noticed, it boils me up. I mean, God forbid, they're, you know, rest in peace. But the couple of other girls that were blonde hair, whatever, got all this media attention, all these people with authority involved. And I'm thinking, what about the Black people? Are we not going to cover them? Why do we need 96 authorities to look for a girl, went to a party and got drunk and went up in the lake? And yet we cannot get anything, no media attention, no help. You know, and I'm sorry for the family. I'm not trying to disgrace them, but it's just a prime example. You know, it's not the first time. I've seen another story about a guy too, a white guy who was actually blonde hair, got a bunch of media attention. It turned out he just wound up in another country because he needed to get away. I'm like, wow, really? When I see these stories, it really boils me because you don't hear. I'm just such an advocate when it comes about the Black people because my daughter is, you know, and don't start talking negative race to me because I'll rant and rave, you know, because I'm very protective. I'm very protective of my daughter, you know, and, you know, and the other thing too, people thought I adopted her. No, I did not adopt her. I gave birth to this child. She's biracial, but I gave birth to her. She's my child. Yeah. And she's a gift from God because I had a hard 9 months with her because I went into preterm labor. I was delivering newspapers up to the day she came out. I had her on a Friday, back out on a Monday delivering newspapers because I had 2 other girls to support. But I had managers because they had to give me medication to stop the inducement. And I had monitors. I mean, you name it. And they were pissed I was still working. But you're not going to stop me. I waddling around throwing newspapers at these apartment complex and everything. And that manager's looking, you're ready to drop that baby and go, probably. I keep going and. And she was very stubborn because when it was okay to have her, the nurses looked at me like, aren't those contractions bothering you? Because I was like in labor for a few days because I kept having contractions. But she wouldn't stay hard enough to have. So they had to give me something cream or whatever. As soon as they did that, boom, she came out. She was a very... But God blessed her so much because I was on pure, raising a newborn on my own, 2 other children, and I collapsed one night and I nodded off with her in my arms. But God jolted me and I grabbed her before she fell on her head, I mean,
Wow.
These are the little things that I remember about her because even when she was a baby at my church, she was probably about 6-7 months praying over her. And when they were praying over her, how many babies do you know that stay still? Her body went limp as we were praying over her. And after that, she started moving around again. These are the little things I remember about her, how God just really watches over her, I mean, I'll never forget those days, That girl, it's like one of her friends. She's very caring, is what she said. She's very nurturing to people. I mean, she's got that kind spirit in her, and so it's just, it's hard, very hard.
Sister Girl, did you want to ask questions?
I'm not going to bombard you with questions, Mom. I'm not going to do that.
I'm fine. I'm used to it by now.
That's so sad. My heart bleeds for you. I'm sorry that you're going through this.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, though, because earlier you was talking about her half siblings. So I wanted to ask you, the brother that you said she's really close with in Nevada.
I don't know how close
you get a chance? Like, did you ever get a chance to speak to him to find out, like, when was his last time? The last time he saw her or hung out with her or maybe got a text message from her, like physically laid eyes on her or talked to her or heard her voice on the phone?
Yeah, I didn't get barely any information from him because, like I said, I don't have much of a relationship with any of the family.
But like when you talk to them, do it make you feel like they hiding something from you? Like they just don't want you to know? Or like,
I think it's more the aunt.
Like you're a mom. So like, do you get the feeling like they just don't, like your daughter is okay, but they trying to like keep y'all away from each other?
I feel that more towards the aunt because the aunt has kept so many things from me. And so that's where, I mean, why would you keep her stuff? Okay. Why would you not send me the mail? I mean, the police had told me they cannot get her stuff unless there was foul play.
That's why I keep asking, because it's like, it seems like the police is probably talking to one set of the family and getting information, and then it seemed like everybody's keeping you in the dark, not telling you what's going on.
Right. I was told the aunt, because she signed the report, which makes me really mad, is that she has more authority over me because she's the one that submitted the report. But yet I did it over the phone and I couldn't sign. So I had to have a signature. And because of that one little signature, even though I filed, they say she's the one that filed. And that's
you mean the missing persons?
Yep.
Oh, so they basically, the police giving the aunt all the information and you just
whatever she wants. Yep. And it's not shared to me. But I don't know if she's asked for any more
So this
information.
is dad's sister?
Right.
Got you. Okay.
Yep. So I'm left with not knowing.
That's crazy.
You know? So I'm left clueless as to. And then the other thing, which I kept the text messages, which was weird because the sister would change her story. You know, first she said that the brother, his name is, there's another brother. Anyway, she would say that they get along, but then another text message or whatever said they don't. How dare you say we don't get along? I mean, it was weird because the two of them feud with each other, you know. And then there was an issue because her biological dad, and we did do an investigation to have, and the authorities there were very nice to my daughter. They did a welfare check where her biological father lived in Oklahoma, so we did all that. But what gets me is she wrote something about money. And I go, what money?
I was just about to ask you, did your daughter get any type of benefits? Because you said she had a mental, she took medication.
No, she doesn't take medication. She won't take it. But
she has mental.
But the money situation,
disorder.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened because of the vague stories. Because his name is Denzel. When I talked to him before he passed, I knew that he didn't really have any money. All I know is that he did tell his sister, I want everything to go to Jacqueline. Okay. What is it that you want it to go to Jacqueline? That's what I don't understand. You know, so all the stories that come back.
Because sometimes, you know, you see and read about cases like this all the time where sometimes they may be getting money for your daughter and like keep it, because you said her social media just switched up. Like she got less friends now. They're probably they're the ones probably deleting her following. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And controlling who she contacts and who contacts her.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's.
You know what I'm saying, Jazz?
Oh yeah. You know, like I said, she grew up in this town, and her friends, at least 5 of them, she's very close to. Very.
And if she's having an episode, like mom may think, if she's having an episode, who knows? They probably just got her in the house, you know, just spending all her money and just overseeing who contacts her.
Right. Yeah.
And they probably told the authorities she's fine.
But you know what I was thinking?
Do the welfare check. She all right. She okay. But don't the authorities have to lay eyes on her to be able to tell mom that she's okay?
Yeah. I mean, I have her all over social media. I would think if she was on the internet, she would see, even if she was having a breakdown.
Right.
Why are you not reaching out? Your mother is screaming loud and clear. I mean, I've got her all over social media, and nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Her face is out there, and I make sure, because like on the missing groups, like I said, I'm in over 150. Every other day or so, I'll write the word bump to move the picture back up. You know, I'm constantly doing whatever I can to keep that face out there, because if I don't, then it just keeps going down, 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 down.
And no one on her dad's side is like, when you reach out to them, they're just telling you what? Like, what do they do? What, like, they hanging up the phone on you? They don't.
I got her blocked because my oldest daughter does not want me talking to her because it was causing me severe anxiety, because she did say something very cruel to me. And it was kind of like, because she even said, wait until she finds out you're talking bad about me and stuff. Like, no, I've been telling you, anybody, what is happening. Not that I'm trying to talk bad about you, but you will not do anything, and you waited. Why? You know, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I realized I haven't heard from her, who knows how long she would have went missing beyond that, because the aunt didn't step in and do as an aunt should, report a missing person. I mean, I'm sorry, but a girl 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at night, and her, I mean, come on, she didn't come back. So hello.
Right.
And the other thing, just so you know, that any
There's some
kind of clip
definitely
snippets
awful.
out there, those snippets are wrong. Some of them are wrong. Her stuff, and this is what makes me mad that it's not in there, should say most of her stuff is still at the aunt's house. She only had her laptop and her backpack. That's it. All her other stuff is there.
I just had one last question, Miss Jackie. Do you have a GoFundMe
What the
for
state?
to help you maybe to get
we did
some leaders to help to like come on to your case to help you to get some answers to find out where your daughter is?
We did, but nobody's responded after 6 months, and we just had to close it down.
Oh, what about a petition to get the police to actually do a hands-on welfare check to find out if to reach out and find out what happened to her?
I know that Doc Ellis Foundation is working on all of that. I'm kind of, they're also being a little bit invasive with them too, and the authorities are being a little invasive with the Doc Ellis Foundation, and so obviously there's something going on with her case that they're not telling us anything.
Right.
I mean, I should be allowed to have, because that's what kills me. Unless there was foul play, I cannot get her stuff. Really? If the aunt had any respect, send me her mail, send me her stuff. But I know she made this statement. She said she would. Now I'm thinking there could be something very important.
Yes, Mama.
She said she will not open her mail at all. It's invading her privacy.
Is there an article? Is there an article?
An article
about your daughter?
They're back in July is all we've had of some snippets, and that's it.
Oh, they asking in the chat too, is to drop a link to the article.
Oh,
yeah. All you have to do, I'll tell you what. If you write in
look it up.
missing Jackie Reyes, you will find all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I mean, because I have her out there.
That's what I did. Yeah.
And you'll find the little snippets.
That's what I did. All you gotta do is go on Google, type it in.
Okay.
And it's a Y with Jackie, because mine's IE. She was named after me. I know people get a little confused, but yeah, I named my daughter after me.
And her missing persons is coming out of Florida.
Right. And she was born and raised in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Jackie.
I wonder
You're
if
welcome.
I'm gonna drop back down into the chat.
Okay, Mama. I certainly will keep you and family. Patricia Hagen said, "Certainly you and family lifted up in prayer."
Thank you.
Aww.
That's what I've been getting a lot, is everybody's praying and lifting me up in prayer. And so, I mean, because that's all I have right now is my faith that something will break eventually, just, I'm just kind of in limbo. And it's an awful life to live right now.
Sorry, I'll do this. So, it's a shame. Wow. Cheryl Nation. Okay. How you holding up over here, Jackie?
Okay. Just trying to fix my oxygen. Pulls on me now and then. And, there are a lot of, if people want to know a little bit more, because
6:30
I did,
to
I think,
6:30.
4 or 5
Okay.
YouTubes back in July. And so they could see some of the stories that I've said already because I stuck to the facts. I stuck to what I know at this point, and that's all I know, you know. And so I've gotten her story out there. I think one of them is Murder News had her best friend Melanie on there. And so she was on there, and my oldest daughter was on there to tell about the story about her. And then Arctic was another one. Levelhead was another one I did. And Jonathan Lee. I think that's all of them, but I can't remember. But then there's also little snippets too that people have done videos. So she has a lot out there.
Yeah, she does. I seen a lot of them. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for coming up and sharing your story. You know, we are
Thank
keeping
you.
you in prayer. You know, you can always call me. You know, I'm gonna be reaching out to you anyway because I'm always reaching out to you and stuff. And I appreciate you reaching out to me as well. You know, thank you because
Yeah.
with everything you got going on, you still reach out to me.